along the way, there's various obstacles, and then sometimes the obstacles are doing something that you shouldn't do, like doing something like try to fix something that's not broken,
Oh, okay.
and I'm sure we've all been there, where you just you don't need to do anything anymore, but you keep doing it out of habit or something.
Yeah. Be a funny way to look at it, though.
Yeah.
That was like between 8 and 9, and then she probably turned to that after that. Is that a new stereo there?
No, it was just a different one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Alaska's jet lag.
Yeah. She's doing pretty good. I can understand.
Did you see your mom today?
I just had dinner with her.
Oh,
I just had dinner with her for a minute. It's kind of lost it. And I think she's gonna come over tomorrow in the early evening. Let's see her about 5.
Oh, yeah.
5 or 6. Maybe 6. Nice. But I'm gonna be coming in all the time.
She can babysit.
Yeah. Sure. We'll take a night out.
What's that?
Oh, my mom's coming over to play with the rats, but I thought maybe I could pawn off my babysitting duties on her too.
Uh-huh.
While she's there. I
That's
don't.
what moms are for.
What, sorry?
That's what moms are for.
Yeah, they're very
Pawning
good.
off the babies.
Yeah. But it's totally will be fun.
Well, small class tonight. Is it what? Okay. Remember I was telling you guys a story about I was driving and I hit the deer and all that. Well, before that happened, I blew a tire. the same trip. So me and Earl were driving and blew a tire, and so I put the little one on there that just you're not really supposed to drive very far with it or very fast. So, and we were quite a ways away from the next town, and we finally got to the next town. It was a small little place, and I just had this feeling that if I went into this certain store, and it was in the weekend, everything was closed. So I thought, well, I just had this feeling. I went into this store, and I went in there, and I just asked, "Is there anyone here that can fix a tire or have a spare?" And the guy behind the counter, he says, "What kind of tire is it?" I told him, and he comes out, and it turns out that he owns a store. It's a small town. He owns everything in the town, seems like. But he owns a store, but he also owns this other company that does all kinds of things, like tires and landscaping and stuff. So then he gets on the phone and he's talking tires and landscaping. And the name of his company is Hurry Help. Hurry Help. Yeah. And it's a really small town. I mean, a really small town. And so I started talking to the guy after he phones his brother. He you know, my brother's out there doing some landscaping. He's gonna come down here and see if he can just fix your tire for you. And like, okay. And so started talking to him, and I just asked him, so how you doing? And his answer was, looked at me and he goes, every day above ground is a good day.
That's a great
So
answer.
I just, yeah. Right? And it's funny because he's one of these guys that, you know, some people just, they just have something happy going on, right? So they always want to, they're kind of serving all the time because their happiness, they're obliged to. They can't help it. So his brother comes and he's okay, we're going to go fix your tire. So what they have is they have this crappy tire that they're going to take off of that rim. It was complicated. They had some good tire that had to come off of a rim, that's right. Come off of a rim and get on my rim. And he said, we're going to go to this tire guy. So we drive up some like country road, go down some country street, and to find the old tire guy who owns the whole street, apparently. But, so I get in this car with this guy, I don't know him, and Earl, my friend, they said, well, keep Earl for ransom. So they kept him there, and so now we're separated, and we're in some small town in the middle of nowhere with a guy I don't know, just driving down these country roads, and he's going to fix my tire. And the first thing I said is, yeah, your brother seems to know a lot of stuff. And he goes, he does. And I told him everything he knows. And he's like, okay.
Oh.
You know? And he started going off on all the things that he could do. And one of them was asbestos removal. He goes, yeah, they hired me to take it out, and then I put it back in. I was hired for years to put it in, then I got hired to take it all out. So, but he goes, yeah, we started out our company, we had a wheelbarrow and a railroad tie and a shovel. That's how we started. You know, he's just one of these guys, right? So the tire guy wasn't around. We walked around in these houses, always up at his daughter's house. He goes up there and there's no cell phones, it's just all walking. So, like, 45 minutes goes by, I'm thinking Earl is back there wondering. So finally, he goes, well, I gotta do it myself. So we go, and he goes, without a machine, he's gonna do it with a crowbar. He goes, I can do this when I was 16 years old. And the thing was, there was no, like, we're not fixing your tire. There was none of that. It was not possible that I was gonna, if it took all day, it was not gonna happen. So we did this crazy thing where he used a jack underneath a heavy piece of machinery and jacked backwards, compressed my tire, got a crowbar, and popped my tire. Like, it took both of us like an hour to do. So we got back, and they take all day to do this. They stop everything. They stop their whole life to just change the stupid tire. And what they were doing was they were just giving us a spare, which is the weird thing. Because they didn't figure we'd make it far on the small one. So he put it's kind of a crappy tire that he gave us, but it was going to work. So then this is all done, 6 hours, and I'm thinking, well, what do you pay a person like this? So first thing I asked him is, you drink beer? He goes, nope. Okay. I said, well, can I give you some money? He goes, nope. And I said, well, what do you take? And he opens up his arms.
Aww.
That's what I do. And he just like squeezes me, right? And so, this is the guy that said every day above ground's a good day. You know? And all I said was, just like our Facebook page. And I'm like, what Facebook page? There's like 10 people in this town. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, just, you know, if anything comes up, it's like, well, every day above ground's a good day. Like, get over it, right? And every day above ground is a good day. And what is it that you want to do with your life? You know, it's like, we're given this gift, this incomprehensible gift, which is time. Right? It's unfathomable because we don't know how much time we actually have, and it's such a gift to share your time with anybody. It's our most precious commodity. It's time, and any idea that we have in our mind that would stop us from accomplishing anything, that, like, we have ideas, they're just ideas. Our whole world that we perceive is all ideas. That, I think that, unless you're kind of in a very rarefied state and you're close to like a non-dualistic state of mind, most people don't really see what's really there. We're mostly overlaying it with our own ideas. And these ideas create a massive construct that is just the world that we think. We think the world is that way. And then we're always surprised when we break a pattern. We break a pattern and we're like, wow, I just overcome this pattern, or change or something. And when we change, everything looks different. And I think one of the most powerful changes, and maybe the most powerful change that we can ever make in our life, is going from having any sort of restriction in the heart to having no restriction in the heart. To being open, to be vulnerable and raw, and able to hear music and cry, able to be blown away by the simple things in life, able to love yourself, and if you think about it enough and kind of go over what's happening in the world and in your world, I think it's fairly logical to reach the conclusion that all the trouble is in the world was caused by a closed heart. It came from a closed heart. People being hurt, people being tortured, borders, restrictions, mental anguish about someone else, wanting to own another, wanting to possess another, wanting to be possessed maybe, but in an unhealthy way. But when the heart begins to open in a way, and maybe not so in a way, but literally, you begin to lose yourself. Yourself begins to disintegrate. Yourself begins to crumble as you then become us. Then your idea of what you are expands to we. And it's not me anymore. It's just not me anymore. Because me was here. Of course there will be a me. Of course there will always be that perception, but that perception shifts from me, what I want, to this broader sense of us, we. And but how does someone reach that place? After all these years of everything that I've been through and meditated on, and spiritual practice and ups and downs, and I believe that our calling, whatever that calling is meant to do that. Whether it's accounting, or whether it's helping people downtown East Side, or whether it's like, because we're all different. We all have different callings. We're all moved passionately in a different way. And the inner energy of passion has the power of igniting that inner core, the inner light that explodes in the heart. If you're bored, it's not going to happen. If you're just bored with life and you're just kind of like through life, the heart isn't touched that much. So I think about that a lot. You know, if you see somebody who's doing just what they want to be doing and they're right in that place, there's something about them in that environment where it's clear they're supposed to be there and something's happening. And so I think it's important for us to go over, well, what are we going to do with the time that we have? And how can we get clear on that? How can we get clear on the central importance? What is a center? What is the most important thing to my center? And how can I know that? Because when you know that, everything changes. If you know that, then you go towards that. Whether or not, like, if you know that, then suddenly your whole life begins to serve that. Whether you're an electrician or a teacher or whatever it is, it all begins to serve this thing that was deeper than everything to begin with. So I'm just on this because I think a lot about how it is that people can reach that place. Because it's hard to be strict with yourself and decide, oh, I'm going to meditate every day, and I'm going to do this every day, I'm going to follow this pattern every day, and this is going to work out. When, if there's no underlying kind of, there's no underlying some kind of force that's wants to explode in there, it'll fizzle out. So, having said that, we're going to do a meditation, and I'll guide us through a bit of a meditation just to get us settled. Then I'm going to play a YouTube clip. Some of you have already heard it. And then after the YouTube clip, we're going to do we're going to write some things down. So, if everybody just takes, I'll just get Joyce to pass some around. And so if you just have some paper and something to write with, so you can just put that aside for now, and we'll use those after the meditation. I just wanted to have them close by so that it was kind of seamless between. Okay, so let's go into meditation. Pull your mind into the here and now, into this room, into your body. Do that by focusing on your body. Focusing on the physical sensations of the places where your body is meeting the surfaces like the chairs or the cushions, or even the sensation of your hands on your legs. Great way to ground your focus. Great way to pull yourself into the now. And in order to have it even more powerful, even more now, is discarding the mental images that are associated with the feeling. The pictures you see in your mind that are connected to the feeling. You can release them on an exhale, for instance, and on your next inhale, reinvigorate the focus so that you're focusing on the feeling itself, not the associated mental image. The object is the feeling alone. Slipping off the object is focusing on the mental images associated with the feeling. So you that's releasing the distraction by letting those go and refocusing. Remembering that each time you do that, you're cultivating stability, cultivating concentrative stability. Now shift to the sensation of the belly as it rises and falls with the breath. Noticing any compulsion to control the breath. Allow the breath to be completely natural. Another way of being here now is just not controlling the breath and noticing simply what the breath wants to do, how the body wants to breathe. Now switching to a more overall sensation. See how centered you need to be. What sort of center do you need to have to be aware of your entire body as it undulates with the breath? What sort of expansion and contraction are you experiencing? Could be a brightening and a dimming, a brightening and a dimming. Now take that focus and gather it together so that it joins at the heart. So you begin to draw that in towards the center of your heart, and you're focusing on the center of your heart. And not trying to see something like a pinpoint or an unmoving object. Just sort of focusing on the undulating sensation. There's always movement. Now focus on the still point that must be there because there's movement. There can only be movement if there is stillness for it to move in. Movement cannot be perceived without stillness. Focus on the absence of the movement. Now draw the attention up from the heart into the center of the head. Think that because your focus has gone there, this light has expanded and now you have a halo. Just begin to, as you're sitting here in this kind of space, think about the gift that is your life. The preciousness of time. And simply and openly listen to the sound, what comes through the speakers here, and it will mean something different to each person.
Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank solution. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life. And the more often you learn to do it, the more lights there will be. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you are going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
So just take some time and think about what that means to you personally. And I'll just be quiet, and you can take your time, and you can come out of meditation whenever you want to, or stay in meditation. But whenever you're ready, and maybe it might even be helpful just to start writing without even knowing, and just maybe write something down that is connected to what you just heard. What does it mean to you? And what are you doing to serve whatever that may be for you? And if you don't know what that is for you, what could you do to help yourself find what that thing might be? So we can each have our own little sort of leave each other alone and have like a private space with it, and just take your time. There's no timer. one more minute. Just a few more seconds, wrap up whatever you're working on there. What we'll do now is we'll go back into meditation. Take a few moments to kind of move away from the kind of flutter of writing and sort of thinking in a way, and pull in towards your heart more. And see if you can come up with a feeling in your body. Maybe it's a space in your mind or something that is relative to that goal or that aspiration. Like how does it feel, that desire for that particular outcome? Where is it located in your body? Or could I say, if the thought of it gets ignited, how do you feel? Like how do you know when that motivation, when the motivation for that thing is running strong? Is there a place in your body? Is there a thought in your mind where it feels like it's this home place where that thing lives and is, dying to expand, dying to ignite inside you and take over your life? So I'm going to just play the crystal bowl, bring it out. And then you can just sink into the sound, let the sound wash over you, and that may help you to get less conceptual about this idea that we're on today, and more heart, more feeling. It will help you tune into it on a daily basis. Always opening your eyes slowly, allowing the light to make its way in, taking your surroundings, but easy, gentle transition. And then we'll take a little break. Stand up, stretch your legs, have a snack. Maybe 7 or 8 minute breaks like that.
That was sent to me from a parent. Want to see it? This
What
is
is it?
pure joy.
Oh,
Heart.
fever of.
Mariska's daughter.
Oh, it was Mila. Daughter.
She did.
That was their pitch for never leaving the park.